protection at work. So it is important for women to know their rights and protections at workplace.
Under the Employment Act 1955, the women protection is one of the main topics. So the first one of protection is for the maternity protection. The main maternity protection is include two items. One is for the maternity leave, the other one is for the maternity allowance. So this one for the women who are going for confinement, they were protected to have at least the maternity leave. But for the maternity allowance, there's some condition that they have to fulfill, which they, from the condition itself, I mean, they must work with the same employer at least 90 days during the confinement, 9 months of confinement. And they must be working with the employer 4 months before their confinement. So these two conditions they must fulfill. And another condition is they must not have at least 5 surviving children. So with this, if they fulfill these 3 conditions, they were entitled for maternity leave plus maternity allowances.
Need to ensure that their employers practice gender equality. Unfortunately, many women do not know the exact channels to lodge complaints if there is discrimination at their workplace. Some women prefer to stay in silence rather than getting justice for themselves. This situation should be taken seriously by the authorities.
For now, the discrimination and the gender equality is protected under the Constitution of the Federal Constitution of Malaysia. It's not yet enactment into the Act because it's only a proposed amendment under the Employment Act. So it's not yet enacted as a law for now. So the victim can launch a report to the public. Launch the report. There's no specific department, but like a woman which is they are discriminated, they will launch a report in the Women's Ministry. But under the Labour Act, we hasn't have any venue for them to make a complaint under discrimination.
Of laws on gender equality is needed to ensure that all women in the workforce are protected accordingly from any forms of discrimination in the workplace in Malaysia.
Actually, when the Malaysian government appeared before the CEDAW, the UN committee in New York, CEDAW committee, the CEDAW made recommendations to the Malaysian government they said, Malaysia enact a gender equality legislation. That was in 2006.
For the new proposed amendment under the Employment Act 1955, the government decided to promote the gender equality, to eliminate the discrimination factor for the employees to work. So the amendment is on the way. So the enactment is on the way. And for that, I think there's some involvement of gender equality. It also involves not just gender, it involves also disability. It involves also employee means anyone, any person, regardless their gender, regardless their disability, and regardless their nationalities also. Even the local and foreign employees also were protected under the enactment later.
18 years later, when the Malaysian government appeared again before the CEDAW committee, that was in 2018, the call was reiterated by the CEDAW committee. We need it now, and that was 18 years we've been waiting, and we need it now.
It is obvious that the government has to implement anti-discriminatory tools and regulations to reduce the workplace discrimination among women in Malaysia. Abdul Aziz, 2008, A Definition and Understanding of Gender Equality in Workplace in the Concept and Context of Malaysian Workforce, plus definition of direct discrimination and indirect discrimination is highly needed. This is in line with the provisions of Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW.
Women's Aid Organization, we started in 1982, so that would take us 100 years of advocacy work, lobbying for change, law reform and policy. So the Childcare Center gives the woman space, financial independence for a while, for 1 or 2 years, and also time psychologically to heal. And I think that is extremely important, to have that space to think and decide what are my plans.
For the proposed amendment under the Employment Act, there's a special clause for discrimination for employees and job seekers. I mean, the law disallowed discrimination for job seekers under 6-7 categories: discrimination on gender, discrimination on religion, discrimination on race, disability, marital status, and pregnancy or language. So this sector which we propose, can cover most of the issue that happen now. And the proposed, I think, whoever employers which did not comply with the direction of a Director General, the person who involved, the victim, can come with this law. They can come to Labour Office and complain. The Director General of a Labour Department can issue a direction to the employer to investigate and to make sure that this thing doesn't happen. So if the employer fails to comply with the direction of the Director General, then the prosecution, and it become commit an offence. So it can be prosecuted under the Employment Act 1955.